Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now. Subscribe now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the Afridamus Report. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go back to where we left off at yesterday. But before that, I want to welcome all of you to the Afridamus Report. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. And please make sure you get your snacks, your drinks, because, ladies and gentlemen, there were many things that most of you missed out on yesterday. But before we get into the show, I want to give some disclaimers. I understand, you know, this is the internet, and with the internet, it attracts all kinds of people. And I've been noticing there's been some hood rats that lurk around here at the Afridamus Report. But I just want to let you hood rats know, over here, I don't play that game. If you keep repeating yourself over and over in my chat, that means you're spamming the chat. See, that's hood rat behavior. That I do not tolerate here. And also, I have orders. You can disagree with me. That's fine. I've said this. And you like to say Afridamus is biased. He is trying to bring drama. But you see, as I keep bringing out things, are you guys beginning to see the true characters here? Today I'm going to talk about Juliet. But also thank you very much for, you know, hearing what I have to say about this. Please keep that behavior out the door. And if I drop the link also, I want to make another announcement. I can't believe I have to keep making this announcement. If you do decide to call into the show, please make sure your smoke detector is not beeping in the background. Please. Okay? Because it interrupts the show. It distracts people. Now that I've made all my disclaimers, let's get into the show, people. Ladies and gentlemen, when I started talking about Juliet, for instance, at one point she fooled me as well, just like you. You know, but the difference is I don't, you know, look at things with the lens of emotions. I will listen to what you're saying and what you're all about, because you see, when somebody's trying to sell you, you know, a pie in the sky, you have to listen carefully. I'm from Africa, you know, like we have people like this in our society as well. So we've encountered the Juliets. You know, we have a group who, by the way, they go around West Africa. They claim they're, you know, related to the Prophet Muhammad, you know. So they've been selling these stories, like since like the 1800s. They go from place to place. So now the internet is even, debunking all this. If you don't believe me, there is an entire documentary where they go and interview these people. Like, these people are, as dark as the ace of spade. They've said, like they're Arabs. I understand what they mean by they're Arabs. I'm just trying to give you a little background here about Africa. Like, these people say they're Arabs, right? You and I would say, sure, they are Arabs because culturally and probably they were mixed down the line. So you understand that culture. I understand that culture. But there are people who take advantage of that. They are tied to an ideology. You see, some ideologies, for instance, or thoughts, it can start like maybe the roots of it, the intention is good. That's possible. But that doesn't mean other people are not going to come and take that same thing, that same good intention, and change it into, what they think works in their interest. They don't believe in the ideas because you just have to listen to the type of principle they're trying to push onto you and I, what they want you and I to subscribe to. Remember, this very Juliet, I have videos of her talking to you, the black diaspora, especially Americans. And silly you, somebody who doesn't live in America, is not from America, but you are gonna listen to that person to tell you about your own living condition. It's called emotions, especially when there are people sitting in their home when they see something on TV, because already they have been pre-programmed, to fall for these things. I understand how for some most people here in America, America can drive people crazy. If you are not mentally, spiritually strong, be in it but not of it, right? Then you would become one of those people who are easily pulled into these sort of scams. And yes, I call it scam. Because you see, Juliet says she's a Gaviite. Guys, please make sure you like the video. Okay? Please. That's the least you could do. But you know what? I'm going to play a live music for you guys before the show starts. Maybe in that meantime, you will get the likes up. This is all the way to the Gambia. This is some of the cool stuff you could attend when you go on vacation. Before I deliver, the good analysis that you're looking forward to. As you know, Queen Juliet. Queen Juliet have talked to her African minions. She's let the Africans know that she's African. She's gonna get citizenship whether you like it or not. And also, I believe she's saying that we owed the blacks reparation. So I'm gonna tackle that. And also she threatened to kill the UN. Yes, you all heard it. I was waiting to hear if you guys are going to say anything about it. But most of you pretended that that you couldn't hear it. And also, I would show you all the different African tap dancers, the panderers. There is a whole host of them. They came, from different countries. The competition was tremendous between the Liberians, the Nigerians, and Cameroonians. Here's the thing, nothing makes me laugh harder than when I see, like a Nigerian, for instance, like somebody claiming I'm Nigerian, but you sound like a old British guy. So I understand you are foreign in Africa, like literally. Like, I'm not making this up. The person that sent me this video knew I'm gonna speak on this. There's literally this guy. When he speaks, sounds like a British. I mean, he's a British guy, right? And on top of that, you go and look at the video. You're like, nah, you gotta be kidding me. The guy, but he is claiming that he is Nigerian. He wants to speak on behalf of Nigeria. So I'm going to address all that, you know, how these people are disconnected from reality. They want you to play this fantasy game. And in Africa, you cannot afford to play fantasy. So I'm going to touch on all that. Get the likes up. I will be right back. Thank you guys. I hope you guys liked it because I sure loved it. See, this is the type of, things you could enjoy in the Gambia. Not all this drama thing that most of these people like Juliet try to sell to you. And today, hopefully, I can help some of the blacks also learn about the things they can avoid. You see, not to go with emotion. You have people telling you that, oh, in America, they are killing black people. I mean, you and I both, if we are going to be honest, if we're going to be honest, we all know that is not true. Yes, there were people who were killed who were black, but let's look at their relationship with the police. It's not like some doctor going to his office or regular person, going to do their regular thing and things happen, right? Does that happen sometimes? Probably. It's America. But now you have someone using this as fear to draw you out of America. And the moment you act on fear, you're going to make irrational decisions. So Juliet comes, she said because of racism, she left the UK and England, wherever, UK, or America. But you see, I knew that story is not going to fly in Africa. That story is not going to fly there because Africans, you act like we live in 1804 when, the only other people that the Africans would see is at the coast is the explorers who, bring you news. There's no way to find out if it's true or not. So she comes up, and started talking about this Gavi stuff. And there's going to be Africans who they've been listening to reggae, and they've heard about Marcus Garvey. So, they're not really into it. Let's be real. Like, I've read Marcus Garvey's book. I've read, followed his story, documentaries, I mean, to be honest, is just a mere ideology at this point. There's nothing really in his ideology that would benefit an actual African. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to bring, our fantasy, they want to, like some of them are saying they want to eradicate tribes. Isn't that what Europeans are accused of? Isn't that what Europeans are actually accused of? You see, in that show that the video I just showed you, you see those Europeans there, the white people? They're not trying to change the Gambian people. They came there to enjoy that music and bounce. So wherever you go, the moment you come up, you said you want to change the people to the way you think your ideology is superior. You're fooling yourself. People don't live like that. So when she started talking about this, even her video, the person that shared it with me, the Gambian person sent it to me, was like, he is kind of into those reggae stuff, La La Land, but does he even believe in it? He doesn't, just like Juliet herself doesn't believe in it. So it's about money. You see, I've said this over and over. In Africa, just like in America, money talks, bullshit walks. Straight. Money talks, bullshit walk. But now, okay, you're saying you want to come to Africa. Everybody that you're pointing fingers at, the white man, like she said in her own, rendition to the Africans, the African peasants on Mr. Dynasty's show, she said that, oh, they want to scrutinize us. When I say I'm an investor, they want to see money, but the European, the European come with the money. Like she said double things. One, she said she was an investor. That would mean, you have money, right? You show up and, I'm like, I'm an investor. I have raw materials, and that would mean you have money, like it exchanges. But you see, what people like her want to do is they want to paint Africa, Gambia, places like that as a charity case. They want to paint those places as a charity case. You see, they want Africa to take second-hand clothing, second-hand cars, and now they want us to take second-hand human beings. How can Africa progress when you have people that claim that they are Pan-Africans, like Juliet, claiming to be investors? They have no money to invest. And then try to tarnish the image of the people's hospitality. You see? Because she's got this ego. There is no satisfying people like her. There's no satisfying people like her. She was in the UK. Apparently, she accused the white people of all her problems. So she said she found Gambia. It's a nice heaven, according to her. So that would mean the whites are not in charge, right? So all of a sudden, I started hearing this narrative about how the whites and the Chinese have taken over Gambia. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did this happen? I'm like, okay, so started exaggerating situation. Here now we have someone who is selling you as a charity case. I think the reason why she's so upset to where she is issuing this threat on UN's life, because she has been exposed. Right now, as we speak, it is raining hard over there in the Gambia. So some places might flood. So you guys remember what she did back when it happened? She went to this area community and filmed it and then posted it. So you guys send donations. Oh, I've saved an area. So she's selling you, but she came as an investor, right? What kind of investor are you? You didn't come with anything, but so you like to talk about the late night commercials, talking about it is white people that are doing this. So these people think they've learned a game. They think they've picked a game. They want to use Africa. They want to keep you and I, the Africans. They want us to remain poor. This is the truth. Not all, but many. They prefer you to remain poor because, you know, when you're financially poor, that means they can lord over you. Have you noticed how so many of these people, especially diners, right, like to say the Africans must go back? Oh, he's like, oh, like Booker T. Washington got his Tuskegee Institute, and Booker T said, oh yes, the Africans can come and learn, but they have to go back. So anything good, right? So Booker T, who was born in slavery, this man's biggest problem was helping Africans to come and learn carpentry. And you are telling me Africans have to come all the way to America to learn carpentry from an institution that was sponsored by white people. So the Africans back in those days, in the late 1800s to early 1900s, they were just there. They're like, damn, hey, Booker T, can I get into Tuskegee? That's not what was going on. So this is the type of fantasies I talk about. There's like a hierarchy they are trying to build. They're trying to create a narrative. If you pay attention, every story, the Africans are the dumb ones and at the bottom, and everything is they are the fighters. The Africans are docile. The Africans, have to come to America, and when they finish, they go back as if they have a say on who comes to America, who gets to come to America, and who doesn't. Oh, as if like they invited you here, as if they've ever done anything for anyone. In fact, they are looking for opportunities in Africa. And as we can see, they are looking for those opportunities. And look, I don't fault anyone if you can find an opportunity somewhere. But don't try to scam the people. Don't try to come here, pointing fingers at people who you didn't do anything for, or try to pretend that we're coming together. But you want me to be in this subservient position. And many Africans, quote unquote, have assumed that position. And Juliet understands the mindset that how the Africans see Westerners. She knows this. So that's why they don't like someone like me who also is living in the white man's land, like them, privy to things. So they don't like people like us. The only way they would like you is if you go along with what is being said, meaning you're probably somebody who just watches CNN, MSNBC, because a lot of these Africans are that way, and hang around. They want to be black so bad. You see, they have low self-esteem. They want to be black so bad. You see, so now I don't want to keep going on with the monologue. Let's just start the show. I'm going to show you even how phony Juliet is. I'm going to show how phony she is. She's not only angry, she's also phony. But here we go. Let's invite her in and we'll go back to the video.
Procedure, and unless they've got that tax clearance certificate, unless they've got all of their not to even be started.
All right, before I go into the video from yesterday, the continuation, because we're going to have Juliet talk about her things, and then You're going to see the panderers and the buck dancers also give their side, saying they want to speak for Africa. Like some of these people, they use their country's problem and just say Africa as if all of Africa agree with one another, like as if all of Africa is the same. They have the same economy, the same people. So right then and there, it is a fantasy. But everybody else brings money as investment, but you want to bring sad stories and skin color story. That sounds like fraud to me. But here in this video, that's Happy Companion and a lady named Sister Shanice. They bought land from Juliet. See how funny Juliet acts in these videos here, because she's playing you. But then they like to say, oh, what about the Chinese? Like, what about the Chinese? The Chinese got dollars. What about you? What are you bringing? Like, literally, you're saying Africans are poor. So you want Africans to just, take stories. I mean, everybody's bringing something to them. Like, if you say you're an investor, bring something. But if you're not an investor, if you're just someone going on pilgrimage, because now that's what the people call it, just go on your pilgrimage and stop talking about, oh, I'm here to save the Africans. Everybody's there to save the Africans. That's what you need to stop doing. And then stop begging us, talking about reparation. We don't owe you anything, not a damn thing. You try to trick us like you tricked the white man, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to touch on that too. And I don't care who's upset. Because you see, they try. I told you about the slippery slope. I told you about this. But some of you silly Africans, talking about, you want to speak on behalf of all of Africa. Tap dancing. You don't even know what you're talking about. You sound more British than anything. How are you even Nigerian, speaking for Nigeria, for instance? But this is what we're dealing with on these YouTube streets. Many of these Africans are lost. I don't know what is going on with them. Truly, I want to know what is happening with most of these people. You see, back in the days, a lot of these people, when I was growing up, we call people like them O-speakings. O-speaking, meaning these people, they only know to be inside. They don't interact with the other children in the community. So from school, their driver picks them up, they take them to this international school or wherever they have this society. In the summer, they go on vacation. This is how, like the government high people used to live with their children before it was so much easier for dusties like myself to just, make our way to wherever we can go, you see? So now those people, this is the ones that were, if they were born there, and then maybe eventually, some dusty in their country, in the army, is pissed off because these people, they are living high on the hog. And this is all the Africans that do this. So you're going to take a man and put a gun in his hand, literally your life, and then you want to starve that man. Isn't that some crazy stuff? So you think I'm crazy to put guns in your hand and I'm eating steak in front of you every day while you're starving. This is a silly concept because a lot of these people are so obsessed with being high and mighty. So they have to do silly things like this. So fast forward, they come to the Western world, or maybe your high school, boom, they go to the Western world. And sometimes people are born here, and if it's America or the UK, I've heard how the blacks, like the Jamaicans there, because the Jamaicans over there, they are the blacks over there, right? How they make fun of Africans. In fact, I got a phone call from what's his name? Adrian. It's like, I was like, hello. Yo, Afridamos. I said, Wagwan. He said, yo, Afridamos, me I watch your show last night and you still talking about me ex-wife. Afridamos, leave us alone. Leave us alone. You see? So that's why I don't understand when even Adrian, you notice, the only time Adrian talks is when they are doing the money thing, because he does the heavy, patois. The people, because they know, like, the blacks that are watching, that send the money, they don't understand the language. So that's why he has to speak at that time. But let's go in.
To sell any land. It could take a week, it could take a month, it may never happen at all.
I mean, so many blacks and subscribers have got land here. But I'm here with none other than Bow Saeed Abu Bakr, the happy companion. So for everybody.
So you notice. So in literally, she's got like a stereotype for Black Americans. So every Black person is supposed to be animated. So I saw another video where she was supposed to give these people their document, and it's the same thing. She had to make them do the jiggy up stuff. Okay. And somebody told me that, in fact, this behavior right here that she's doing this just right as the camera goes on. So many people are sitting in. I understand why some of you get upset at the things that I say, because you bought into a fantasy, and now you know that it's fantasy, but you're upset that I'm pointing it out. And I did not tell one lie over here. I'm not making up my own stuff. I'm going off of the video and just breaking it down. Yeah, she just goes into character. Watch.
Whose land documents I'm processing, for whose purchasing development permits or land purchase, I, hand on my heart, say I'm really sorry for the delay. Arrangements today to organize his physical planning as well and going through the process. So hopefully we'll be following Saeed while he's doing his process. So this is going to be fun.
Now, we were given a stern warning because we were trying to get an idea of what the tax was going to cost for the land that we bought at Jambanjelly. And apparently there's a tax office at Brusaby that would be responsible for their tax. But as a general rule, the sister was advising that we ought not to buy from estate agents. Now, that's probably really peculiar advice from those of us who are coming in from America or Canada, yeah, because you would expect that if there's a safe outfit to buy from, it would be the estate agents. But apparently the estate agents over here are known to sell land to foreigners, land that they don't own. When they say they don't own it, it means they haven't got the clearance for the land. So what we need to do to ensure that the land that we are buying, the estate agents have clearance for, we have to ask them to show us their capital gains revenue certificate. Yeah. It's a income tax clearance certificate. Yes. This is what they need to show us as evidence that they own the land that they are selling. If they can't show you an income tax clearance certificate, it means they haven't paid the tax, and if they haven't paid the tax, then the land is not yet cleared.
So you hear that, right? So Juliet was the contact point for all the repats in her video. So she's showing many different characters. Let me see some of this here. Proud Eritrean says, so the topic, he said, the topic is this lady a scammer? Where's the evidence though? I watched that long and painful stream after it was done yesterday and I simply don't get it. Sir, if you do not get it, stop whining over here. There are plenty of channels on YouTube. You keep, writing these useless comments here. If you don't like it over here, move on to another channel, okay? Nobody wants you to be whining in my chat. If you don't like the show, just move on. Some of you, I don't know what is your problem. You are so useless. You don't add on to anything, but when people put their shows together, you want to come here and complain. If you don't like it, one more useless comment, you wouldn't be a part of this show anymore.
For sale. Okay, so that's history and hopefully has saved a lot of us a lot of headache. We now need to go to African Properties and make sure that we get a copy of their tax clearance certificate. All right, family.
So you guys heard her. So now let's go on to Juliet's rant. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. How's my brother for my other mother? How's Dinah? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Great.
I'm doing good. Can't play.
So she totally ignored the person that said hello, which was, you know, great African. You know, that's why I say one of the African, you know, peasants. So I'm just going to give you a quick recap so you see the different personalities. Okay.
Good. Well, Dinah, firstly, let me start by applauding you for what you've been doing in Sierra Leone. Okay. And, you know, we're going to also talk about Liberia. I've never been to Liberia, but I'm obviously living in Africa. I repatriated and I live in the Gambia. And I moved from the UK and I've not been back since. Yeah, I found myself in Africa. I am an investor in Africa.
Did you guys hear that? She said she's an investor in Africa. Okay, let's continue. Maybe she would tell you what kind of investor she is.
I am a promoter of Africa. And firstly, I want to unpack automatic citizenship just to make it clear to you. When I first put out the package about automatic citizenship was based on a similar basis as already exists. Firstly, let me just state this. When our ancestors were taken in chains, they did not have any immigration or any passport. They even lost their names, their identity. They were stripped of their culture, stripped of their...
So you're hearing this, right? So she comes on the panel, she's lecturing to you the arrogance to try to, so the Africans are taking the subservient position according to her. You know, this is the behavior. They don't even have to say it out loud. Like, oh yeah, Dinah, you're doing such a great thing in Sierra Leone. So, like I said, most of these Pan-Africans, their talking points is, you know, they're the best thing since sliced bread, you know, in Africa. But you cannot really see what they are doing. They would kill each other. They would kill you with endless meetings, sell you fantasies, and people continue to donate because, you know, like some people just, they want to belong to some group. Some people want to, you know, act like, oh yeah, I'm saving Africa. I donated $25. You just saved Africa, you know, because they are playing with your mind. They know how you think. They know how, you know, you see Africans. They know you are in that fantasy. So they're selling that to you.
Family, stripped of their legacy, stripped of their land, stripped of their titles, stripped of everything that could identify.
Hey, iMovement said, weird that Adrian called Afridamus. No, it was a joke. I wanted to make that clear. I was doing the Jamaican accent. No, Adrian did not call me. I was being funny in case if he called. Thanks for saying that so I can clear that point, you know, because some people might buy into it. That was a joke.
Them with the place that they came from. So we have been nomads for too long.
So she's selling all these stories as being nomads and all that. Let's fast forward to, you know, where her anger starts.
We should not be welcomed. We should be given a citizenship passport. An automatic citizenship passport should be given to all African diaspora that want it. Because
so it's called special treatment. Like, okay, so who are the people that talk about, you know, oh, the Africans are controlled by white people. Basically they're saying everybody takes advantage of African people, right? African countries. So you don't think coming to Africa and demanding citizenship, which would mean they would change the law for you, law of the country. Don't you think that you're trying to take advantage of Africans? Like you literally don't respect the country. You see, they respect the concept of country until they come to an African country. Do you think she would go to Germany as a British and start thinking that Germany's laws are the same as England? Or she can demand what she's demanding here? Or even Jamaica. She can go to Jamaica directly. But you see, Africans, this is why I'm not saying, don't be welcoming, but pay attention to, the people you are supposed to welcome. Just think about it. And there are people on this panel here who literally, these Africans, they think that's the best thing. And they always come back to, oh, what about the Chinese? Yeah, what about them? As if they're, those Chinese, because she's in Gambia. As far as I know, those people are not citizens. So it applies to everyone. But she's an investor, right? But that quickly changed. She didn't tell us what she invested in, except her house, which everybody, most people have houses there. So what is she talking about?
Not many black people of African descent even want to return. Yes, I'm a Garveyite. And yes, there are other Garveyites, but most people aren't. They're happy with their lot, living with white people in their dystopia. Yeah, there's only the few that are selected and chosen who are conscious.
So the narrative is people are living, they enjoy living with white people. So the reason why, let us make this clear. The reason why you have so many of these people that come to these African countries and say that, oh, we are here to help Africans because of the advantage you have in the Western countries that you live in or you're from. So nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to sell this pipe dream to say, oh, over there you're stifled, or if you're calling yourself the investor, that means you have money to come and invest. If England was as oppressive and bad to blacks, how did you get that opportunity to make that money? So many of these people contradict themselves. They do.
I want to go to Africa and know the truth about Africa, know the true wonderfulness of Africa, know the true beauty of Africa, know the true investment opportunities and business opportunities and wonderfulness of Africa, and understand the beauty of living among your own people. There's not many people that do experience it or even want to experience it. Many people wake up and if they don't see a white face, they feel displaced. Okay, so that is the truth. So when we are coming back, the first thing
where in Gambia, she's still going to see white people in the areas that she goes to, right? So again, the obsession is white people. So that's why, look, if you always see yourself high and mighty and you always want to be the one setting the agenda, right? You will always win these dumb talking points because you are talking as if the people, let's say the Gambian people, care about these things, as if this matters to them. So if people don't respond, you think, oh, these people are dumb. No, they are just not interested in what you are saying. But I also get it. The selling point, the customer is the diaspora. So she makes that clear.
Respect is respect. That we even made this journey, because this journey is hard. Do you know how many people are living on benefits, living on social security? They don't even have their own home. They don't even have a job. They don't even know where their next money is coming from, the next paycheck. They can't even afford to leave. They don't even own a car or they own a house. So, all of these assumptions that people are well off and are better off. Some people have got PhDs and are cleaning, floors in toilets. because of discrimination and racism. We face enough discrimination and racism without having to come back to Africa to face the same kind of colonial ideas and mentality where you're going to face barriers when you come back here because we're going to have pushback against you. When if I was a white person coming with X amount of money, I will be seen as an investor and I will be given an automatic.
So you see, that would mean she lied, right? Because in the beginning, she said she went as an investor. So if a white person comes with the money and they say they're investor and we see them as investor, so that means that you're worshiping the white person. So you see, for the African, you know, you should just take empty talking points, you know, skin color, right? And then they turn around. I shouldn't say they, people like her. Because yesterday some people were like, oh, don't generalize. Now, are you her? So she wants you to buy into this idea that, you know, okay, the white person that comes with the money and said they're investor, and you seeing the guy investing, that makes you a bootlicker or something. But her telling you she's an investor and she's not showing anything, any money to show it, and you question it, that makes you a bad person. So she's setting the narrative on her own.
Citizenship based on the fact that I'm an investor. Why aren't I seen as an investor? I spent millions for my house. Why aren't I seen as an investor? All of this discrimination, all of this prejudice, all of this, you know, fraction thinking, all of this kind of bad mindism that we have between ourselves has to end. We are all Africans. We are all one, and it has to stop. How dare you scream me when you go to America and within 5 years you're getting your green card? Yeah, I'm here in Gambia. I have to wait 15 years for citizenship. What kind of a joke is this?
So she goes on this rant, you know, like non-stop. So nobody, you know, put the words in her mouth. She said she's an investor, you see, but she knows how you view things. Hey, this is no insult to anyone. You see, most people have ego, and their ego is getting them in trouble. If you don't know something and somebody points that out, don't take it as an insult. It's just the truth. So what she is doing is she is using illogical arguments to get your emotions, you know, riled up, to make you think. She's over there fighting against the system. You know, they have colonial system so that they can, you know, they're fighting. She's fighting on your behalf. You see? So this is why she says she's a Gaviite, Pan-African, whatsoever. But she's not really bringing any investment. And I bet you nobody went up to her and said, oh, ma'am, you are not an investor, you should leave. That's not how the place works. But she's trying to plant that seed in your head. So when you see it, you get all emotional and you buy into it, you know, because she said discrimination. What does she consider to be discriminatory against her over there? What does she consider that to be? If anything, she's the one that, you know, somehow it sounds like she involves the police a lot in her issues, you know? So 15 years to wait, 15 years getting your citizenship. If that's the law, I guess. That's the country's law. But she wants to challenge it. Let's let her keep going. And she's not even a citizen yet, behaving this way. Imagine if she gets to be one.
African nation, and then you want my blood, and then you want my blood, you want my DNA, you want my blood.
Black Seed, that is unfair.
No,
Moochie, let her finish. Moochie, let her finish, and I'm gonna pass it to Carrie because you know I want to get them on.
So Moochie is not gonna be allowed to speak, right? But like I promised, we'll finish this video all the way today. Just a couple more, we'll skip it to where we left off at.
Right,
Go ahead, Black.
all I'm saying is that, you know, you want us to jump through all of these hoops like we ain't human. Like we don't have feelings, like we ain't gone through pain, like we ain't gone through racism, discrimination, and hatred. So when we come back, you know, we want love. You know, we want a
That's the
welcome.
point I was trying to say earlier. I said, look, if everything we went through is basically dismissed, and people.
So, guys, do you guys see, you know, the colonizer, Kala? He's another one that likes to perpetrate this victimhood narrative. So she's trying to make you feel like, oh yeah, they discriminate. If you go over there, the laws are restrictive. But ma'am, you just told us you own a house there. How did you make that happen despite not being a citizen? Okay, so if non-citizens are discriminated against, you know, the diaspora, then why are you telling them to pack up their bags to come to Africa? That's just like the people that say, oh, America, you know, is so racist against, you know, black people, especially Africans. But then when you in argument, when they want to, you know, take shots at Africa, they would say, oh, we are the ones that, because of me, us up here, we helped you come. We used to help Africans come. Why would you want to help Africans come to a place where their skin color, quote unquote, would be a disadvantage? They would be picked up. Same argument doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense.
Act like, oh, you come in Africa like it's some soap opera or something like that. Look, people are coming back for it. What's say they're coming back, and it's like Africa's not really embracing us the way I think it should be. You know.
Look at the phrase he used. Everything is subjective. He said, if Africa is not embracing us as we think they should, so there's no satisfying these people. So these people like Kala, like her, they have issues with themselves. They have superiority complex. Believe it or not, one time I heard the Wakandan queen, that's another one that lives in fantasy, literally said that what she wants was, when she gets to Africa, she wants the people to put a drum ensemble for her, come and pour flowers down and start dancing, and people just jumping around. So think about how crazy that sounds. So this is how a lot of these people are thinking. So I don't know what Kala wants. I don't know what type of, you know, like yesterday they're talking about love. I don't know what they want from Africans. I don't know what they want, but maybe they'll tell us.
Do you understand what we went through in the West? You know what it takes to say, you know, something, you know, we want to come back to the continent and everything, and people are just dismissive, like the Afro dumbass guy, you know, and people like that, you know, and Negro P and all these other people that want to freaking cast doubt and all this kind of nonsense on black people returning, watching out every move. And
So here's the thing. He wants to call me Afro dumbass, right? He's upset at what I'm saying. You see, I open up the line. He didn't hit the link. If truly, you know, he believes what I'm saying is dumb, he can come here, you know, and prove to everyone here that, look, Afridamus is just, you know, an asshole who doesn't want to see black people progress. He doesn't want black people to come to Africa, wants to watch our every move. In fact, believe it or not, I am not watching your moves. It is the general public that watches these shows. When they hear people like you, they take the video and they email it to me. They say, please, Afridamus, this is supposed to be an Afridamus classic. And we bring it here and break it down. So it's nothing against anyone. Plain and simple. Bob Garvey said, his laugh, he said, what really a freedomist who said, oh, that's colonizer. He wants to be a colonizer so bad. I mean, you're gonna meet his viewpoints here in a second.
And everything like that, you know, criminalizing us and everything. And a lot of people just give up and say, man, you know, I might as well just stay in America if I'm going to go to Africa and like that. Africa has not made it easy for Black people in America to return. I hope this Liberian initiative will do something, you know. But you know,
Let me, Juliet.
We as Black people need to stand up and be counted and fight. I'm tired of all.
Fight against who? So, Carla is just crying, right? You guys can hear that. So somehow, these people speak as if, oh yeah, you know, you show up to Africa, you know, they just got to give you citizenship, and you know, like people worship the ground. Oh, the people don't know, you know, what we went through in the West. Like, what are you talking about? So you want to go around and tell this narrative to people all around the world, and okay, they're going to listen, and then what? What's next? You see? So he's trying to sell you a lie, plain and simple. That's what he's doing. He's trying to sell you a lie. He's another guy. 1 minute he wants to save Africans. Another minute, oh, the Africans should love us. They should embrace us. They should give us, you know, X, Y, and Z. You know, they talk about how they want to enter mining. You notice, you know, in front of the white people, they are victims. In Africa, investors, experts. All of a sudden, they're mining experts. All of a sudden, they are farmers. I mean, I'm speaking about the fake ones, okay? And you never see these people do any of that, but they'll talk about it. They'll talk about it over and over again, but they never act on it.
Of this cowardice and this passivism, they've made us into something that we're not. We are fighters, we are warriors, we are kings, we are queens, and we must stand up. They mustn't destroy our fight. They mustn't destroy our Garveyitism. They mustn't destroy our Pan-Africanism. They mustn't destroy our love for Africa while they sit down in some European place with some porn star. Hell no. Telling lies from morning till night on us.
So apparently, she's saying Negropean is with a porn star. I guess in the UK, in her region, they call it poon. So she means porn, you know.
Untruths against us, trying to defame us, trying to destroy us. Look what they've done to so many other people on YouTube. Because of me, I don't care. They can tell lies on all day and all night. I'll still keep saying, brothers and sisters, come home. Because each and every one.
So, again, I'm telling you guys, delusion. They were kings, they were queens, they were warriors. The Africans are not opening their arm, they're discriminatory. But, oh, pack your bags, come on down. We are warriors, we are fighters. You know, come on down. Come on down, leave. Come on down, run away from the white man. Like, which one is it, lady? Make up your mind. Make up your mind. So, look, I'm not here to be against anyone. I just want you guys to see the narcissism right in front of you. Because you see, when you come over to Africa now we have the internet, and if people are not sleeping, when you do these things, people are going to make fun of it and laugh at you because it is pure comedy. Pure comedy. I just happen to be the guy who knows how to explain it better, but it is pure comedy. You're not fooling anyone except the people that are giving you the money. But let's continue.
One of us has a legacy of Nanny of the Maroons. Each and every one of us has a legacy of Marcus Garvey. Each and every one of us has a legacy of every single freedom fighter that there has been. Yeah, Harriet Tubman is in all of us. That's why we're here today on this channel. Dinus has done too much work for some idiot sitting in Europe with some white porn star to try and undo. I diss him, I diss his family, I diss everybody because it's just a waste of space.
Yeah, ma'am, we know. You see, if you were doing something that is legit and straight, he wouldn't be able to derail you. You would have ignored him and keep going. But obviously, you want to be proud that I diss him, I diss his family, I diss everybody in his family. Let's hear who else in his family that she disses. Oh, maybe she's gonna threaten him.
An empty bag of gas. He's just an agent, and we're going to get agents working against us the same way as Marcus Garvey was shot in his chest, the same way as he was.
Oh, you mean he had a heart attack? Like, okay, but the lady she's a fraud. She's a Gaviite, but she doesn't even know that he was in shot. She's all over the place. She's got Tubman in her. She's got Kunta Kinte. I mean, somehow all of her, heroes that she's related to are somehow American, but she's from Jamaica. I believe Jamaica had a lot of, heroes she could call who actually fought against, their enslavers. Okay? But the stories are getting old. But I'm happy to come here and break it down. I know you like the show because the things I've been saying, you're beginning to see it. The multiple personalities. Look, in Gambia, we do not need this. We don't need this type of people. 1 minute you're happy, another minute, 1 minute you're up, another minute you're down. You're threatening people, talking about you're gonna diss people's families and stuff. I mean, we can take that. That's a bit much. Okay? These ups and downs is just not, it's not good for the image of the quote unquote repart. People should start even renaming what they are, because you know that you are literally aligning yourself with people like her. Straight.
In prison the same way Malcolm X, the same way Martin Luther King, and we've got to learn to stand up and be counted and fight against it and say, no, this is our Africa, our destiny, our future, and we are going to claim it, and we are claiming our birthright, and whether you like it or not, Africa, we are here and we're here to stay, and that is it. And if you don't want to give it to us, we'll claim it in time.
If you don't want to give it to us, we'll take it. So the colonizer is coming out. Look, I get it. It's not that I'm worried or anything, or any Gambian is worried that, her and her people, are going to come take over. Because you see, the reason why she's mad at the Negropean and his porn star wife, according to her, is because the Negropean, exposed the truth. Wasn't she feeding the Negropean the information in the beginning? That is crazy. Damn the luck. He said, she going to take your farm, Afridamus. Man, she wishes. She's not taking anything. She has to be a citizen first. Let her conquer that step. And you notice other quote-unquote reparts are not asking for this citizenship. She's the only one who is pushing this agenda. And some of you, I don't know what your problem is. You just follow this quote unquote YouTube prophet, in any direction they push you into. Look, I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. You don't have to agree with me with anything. You see, I'm just here to lay it out. And don't see me as anything other than that. But now, you should look at every person that is bringing you the information the same exact way. Use your head, man. It doesn't make sense for one to go to like a strange country and demand citizenship right away. It makes no absolute sense. It makes no sense. And if the person is up and down and they're acting this way, what do you expect would happen to you if you send her your money, right? You from America. you're like, oh, I trust this lady. And this story that I'm about to give you, is not too far-fetched because it's already happened. You send the money, you're going to this country, you've been telling yourself, oh, I'm black and proud. All of Africa is black. So I would get the black treatment. You get there, you find out that's not how it is. You send the money to her. You're a stranger. What can you do? What can you do if she doesn't deliver? I trust people that would say, come first, see for yourself, interact with the person. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Money doesn't expire. Do not separate yourself from your money. They can wait. They can wait. I mean, I'm not sending you my money. That's not happening.
Send this clip to the African Union.
Okay. Hey, say, Carrie, go ahead. Say
You have to wait
yourself.
till my first.
Hi, everyone. Happy July. Happy Liberian Independence Day to my fellow Liberians and African diasporans. And regarding this dual citizenship, can you all hear me? Okay. Regarding this dual citizenship, I agree with it. And the reason why I agree with it, because I'm first generation Liberian American. My parents and grandparents four grandparents were born in Liberia.
So, it's funny how the Africans, they go onto, channels like this to talk about their country's actual problem. You guys remember when, I used to see this on YouTube here. There was some Gambian YouTubers who used to go onto the Wakandan Queen's channel. And the Wakandan Queen will be talking about, all these fantasies. And, the Gambians were there just going along with it, because at the time, she was talking as a tourist, right? So they think they're talking to a tourist. She's just gonna go visit, have her fantasy, and move. So they were all into it. Come on, come to Gambia. They would speak. Even some of them, this one, I think, like some of them were like, oh my God, you wear that African dress so nice, that garambuba, that garambuba. So as soon as Juliet started talking about the citizenship, automatic citizenship, completely fell out with the Gambians. Okay? The Gambians, they no longer took it as a joke or fantasy. They formed their panel and told Juliet the truth. That's where the beef started. And the Gambians are like, you know what? We don't want to encourage these people. In fact, how about we just don't ever step foot in their YouTube channel? You don't know how Gambians operate. Gambian people are not going to waste their time to argue with you. They would just, in Mandinka, they call it queer, meaning they would just pretend like you don't exist. Or in Wolof, they say Tongo. You can talk to them, they will pretend like you're not even there. That's what they did to Wakandan Queen and Juliet. And she's been very bitter since then. So instead of, being humble and, have actual conversation with the people and say, hey, check this out. Let's, talk about this, be one and the same. Maybe you guys, the law here, 15 years, that's a bit long. And you try to find out at least why it is that way. See, that's logical. Even myself, I would have been like, oh yeah, this lady is smart. But that's not what she's doing. At first, when she even said citizenship, I was like, okay, nothing wrong with asking for that, until I actually heard what she was talking about. I was like, oh, she is crazy. Like, where's she getting these ideas from? And this tactic she's using, this slavery story, this does not work with Africans. Africans do not care about these stories. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you the truth. I've said this in streams. People want to be mad. Like, honestly, let's be real. Why do you expect anybody who didn't go who is not have no relation to any history like that, right? Why would they preoccupy themselves with it? Just be real. Just like you don't care about that person's history, their tribal history, same way. And nobody's upset at that. I don't expect a stranger to care about me more than I care about myself. That's just ridiculous.
Liberia. However, I was born in the United States. So with this law being passed, it's beneficial to me because with my parents and myself, I plan on giving back and working on a project.
Okay,
And
go ahead, Moochie. Oh, go ahead and finish. Sorry.
And I do agree with Miss Blacksit and what Mr. Great African was saying, because initially the way how Liberia was founded was for freed blacks, for black people, regardless of where you were, to repatriate to Liberia. And I'm at work, so I can't take too long in this panel.
All right. So the Queen Juliet came. She said what she had to say. And now let's allow, the colonizer to speak. Because you see, most of you probably never heard some of these people. And when I point this out, people get mad. Why do you get upset? Like, for instance, when Go Black went to South Africa, he was having conversation with Josie Gold. I played that video here. And Josie Gold said to him, he doesn't believe, because Go Black was talking about racism in South Africa after being there a couple of days, because some white woman at the elevator stepped back so he can go into the elevator. Another one, the white woman got to her floor, probably got off the elevator. So, but Josie Gold, a South African born and raised there, he said he's never experienced racism or discrimination like the guy is saying. And Go Black started trying to push back, twisting the man's story. The guy's like, my experience is not the same as you describe in America, like the other YouTubers. And he started trying to play word semantics to try to get him into this argument. And to me, that's deception. If you want to have honest conversations, don't try to push this narrative onto people. It seems like you have a script. The moment someone challenges that script, you don't want to accept the truth. You want to shame the person. That's like religion pushing this ideology that, no, sir, you've actually experienced racism, So that's what these people are doing. When in fact, like, the honest truth is, especially when someone is trying to use the plight of slaves, actual slaves, there were people who were actually enslaved. And these people are trying to use that plight as if that's them. That's messed up, using those people's story as if that is happening to you. That's the ultimate disrespect to your own ancestors, trying to profit off of that. And you going around, telling all sort of stories to people, so that's killing this quote unquote, this pan-Africanism, whatever it is.
Can I go?
Go ahead, Moochie.
All right. Okay. Hey, Black Seed, I don't know if she's listening. I just wanted to say I'm a fan and I've watched the content. So, again, I think most Africans are allies to Black diaspora, especially as Africans have come from the continent and living abroad and, we've been overseas. We are allies. We want you guys to be on the continent, okay?
KBM, thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, if she had waited 15 years, she would have had appreciation for gaining citizenship in the Gambia. I agree. But now she is impatient. She has no appreciation for any citizenship anywhere in Africa. Great point. You are absolutely correct. Like, if you just show up at an airport and they hand you the citizenship, that's absolutely true. Like, you won't even appreciate it. Like, because to you it's like paper, like monopoly citizenship. So that doesn't make any sense.
That's one thing to get in mind. Now, like I said, we have the same aspirations, right? But the thing that most of the diaspora don't get is, us Africans, we know the type of leaders that we have on the continent. Okay, so we can have all the wishful thinking that we want and everything, but we're trying to tell you, because trust me, even getting dual citizenship in Zimbabwe, where there's millions of Zimbabweans that are living overseas, all over the globe, all over the world, right? Was tough, and even up to today, it's not still very clear, right? And there are people who have been victimized and have their assets taken because they say, "Oh, you are dual citizenship; it's illegal," right? But all I'm saying is that, getting caught up with language.
What about the white Zimbabweans?
But
Here we go. So the man is literally trying to help him out, right? So I understand there are Africans who honestly, like when people are talking this way, they are really coming to like, hey, no, really, they're trying to help you out, because you're thinking in terms of skin color. The man is talking to you about, what is reality. He's being nice. Like Abby said here, Abby, you're absolutely correct. He is telling you Africa's reality, in a nicer way. So do you think these people don't know this? Some of them. Dinas has been to Africa. He goes there. He goes to Sierra Leone. Dinas knows it. But this, he says, like he throws fantasy in there every now and again. But you can tell Dan, he doesn't believe in it. He doesn't believe in it, or try to make it seem like the way Juliet and others. He brings them to spew the crazy talk. So that's why he puts these topics up. So this guy here, he is a real African, straight from Africa, like myself here, right? We know the realities of Africa. We're straight from there. So we have no problem speaking the truth, helping people. And then you have this one here. Her parents are Africans, but she's technically black. She's from the diaspora. She was born in America. So I wouldn't be too hard on her, because she also sort of live in the fantasy a bit, but I understand where she is coming from. She means no harm. Right? But now, Mushi, let's hear what Colonizer is going to say to Mushi about speaking the truth. Let's hear him out. He brings up the white people who, in fact, at one point conquered, Zimbabwe. They used to call it Rhodesia. Okay, so some of you, at some point the blacks took over. They kicked some of the whites out. All these whites are not going to just leave. They at one time conquered this place, so they became part of the society. They want to be a part of the society, and they are part of the society. But now you want to question the white people when you yourself, you are a black white person. Those whites that this colonizer is questioning, they are more African than him. They know the landscape, they talk the language, they've been there for centuries. So, like, what are you talking about? He's not making any sense.
Wait, Kala, please. There are white Zimbabweans that were born in Zimbabwe that came in the 1890s.
That just killed your whole argument right there.
But hold on.
Hold on. European talking points.
But no, Kala. All the insults you can make that don't change nothing. All I'm saying is this: how about the Zimbabwean that goes over to South Africa or to Mozambique? Do they get automatic?
Muchi, let me ask you a question. a Zimbabwean was specifically supposed to be the black people there. White people were called Rhodesians. Remember? Rhodes.
The country used to be called Rhodesia, and it's no longer Rhodesia. So, color, like many, blacks in America, unfortunately, the ones that are into this, Pan-African thing, they live in like la la land. It's fantasy, you see? And this is how you know when someone lives on cloud nine fantasy. When you throw in reality, they get really, really upset. Everything, this used to be called Rhodesia. They like to tell you about the names of other places. Oh, they're like, oh, Nigeria was named by a white woman. Okay, so if it was named by a white woman and we know it to be Nigeria today, so it makes no sense. So Kala wants, he said, these white people being born in that country, being there for centuries, that kills this dude's argument, him saying those people are, in fact, from there. Does that even make sense? I mean, in that case, shouldn't he be in Africa? Well, I shouldn't encourage that. He's trying to get the citizenship. I better not say that. Okay.
Cecil Rhodes, remember that, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, out of convenience, you started calling them Zimbabweans because you want them to be citizens and good Zimbabweans, but they're still in their hearts and minds Rhodesians, right? So
why were they? Can I ask you why were they called Rhodesians? Can I ask you?
Because Cecil Rhodes, Rhodesians.
Okay, then. So what is the issue?
That's colonizers mentality, and they still got all the benefits. You
Kala, those are childish. Kala, you make a whole lot of childish statements.
So are you saying they should purge the white Zimbabweans?
Right?
So that's a Pan-African. That's how an ignorant person argues. So you notice if you're talking to them, they would throw you off and about what used to be, like what used to be called Rhodesia. It's no longer Rhodesia. Yeah, the white people were in charge. Then they stopped being in charge since 1980, when Robert Mugabe and his rebels won against the government of Ian Smith. That was the white government. Okay, they made reconciliation. The country came together. Blah blah blah. They had the land situation. Okay, fine. But you notice what Kala said? That doesn't make sense. He said, you guys turned it into Zimbabwe and call them Zimbabweans so they can be good, good little Zimbabweans. What, you want them to be bad Zimbabweans? So they would say things like this, raise their voice so that it can turn into useless argument. Clearly, he's not trying to hear the truth. He wants the chaos. He's arrogant. He's pompous. He doesn't want to hear anything. So when people send me these videos, because they've seen me talk about people like him, this is why people send me these videos, because they know I'm going to peel him like an onion. Peeling onions is not easy, but somebody has to do it. So he wants to argue with a Zimbabwean, the person who came from Zimbabwe. He wants to argue with him. He wants to tell him that, oh, you guys are just, servants of the white people, because that's usually another argument. Oh, you guys were colonized. You mean were? Not anymore. But why do you want to talk about colonization if the country is no longer colonized? Hasn't been in ages. Most of us weren't even born when this happened. So what are you talking about?
The white person blood sucking your country is a problem.
You make a lot of Kala. You're too emotional. That's the
I'm
problem.
not emotional. You're the one being
You
emotional.
are
I'm
emotional.
stating a fact. You're the one yelling.
You're emotional because
No,
what they're
don't put
saying.
that on me. I'm not.
What they're
Am I
saying.
emotional?
One mic. Let Moochie finish. I want to hear what
Okay,
he's saying.
yeah, okay, here's the thing. Saying, oh, what about white Zimbabweans, Rhodesians? What about whites? There's whites all over Southern Africa. In Namibia, they're citizens. In South Africa, there's over 5 million whites. They're citizens. In Zambia, everywhere. There was even a deputy president who was white in Zambia. That means nothing and doesn't move forward what we're trying to talk about. What we're trying to talk about is citizenship, and like what Blacks would say, that is bad.
So it says a man who was born in a predominantly white country, white civilization, white schools, speaks the white man's language. There is not a single African language that the man can speak. Not a single one. But yet he knows, people's country more than them. Of course, look, if you are telling me your own pseudo history, you are coming up with your own silly history, yeah, it would be easy for you to say to someone who lives in reality that they are ignorant, because he's going to try to say Mushi here is ignorant. But he's the ignorant one, because Mushi is speaking the truth. You do not know the African governments. You are the one trying to believe that this is based on skin color, because you see many people, they are in denial about the truth. This is why they lash out on you when you don't buy into this quote-unquote fantasy. How can a grown man run around the internet trying to sell fear to people? Okay, so there is racist according to you. So what? They are a quote-unquote white supremacist. Okay, so what? What do you want me to do? You want me to just stop existing? Like what's going on? But he has issues with the white people in Zimbabwe. All of a sudden, he has issues with them being there. I thought he was about Liberia. But again, they are all over Africa. All over Africa. That's how a real colonizer actually thinks. Seriously. Because colonizers think they know better than you. They think they know your own history more than you do. You're telling me some, make-believe story that you read, but they, most of these people, they want to believe everything they read. And then you're shocked that you're disappointed. Oh, the Africans are not welcoming us the way we perceived in our head. So you're telling me you read King Leopold's Ghost and you think that's how, it still is in the Congo? Of course, there's civil war, but it's not like they're over there, the white people enslaving the Congolese. That's not the case. Just a point of reference.
Somebody has to wait 15 years. That is something most people can agree that this is unfair. This is not right. So people, the black diaspora and the black people in the country can advocate together and say, hey, we need to change the constitution. What should be done? Now, I mean, should the time be removed or should it be automatic? All I'm telling you, based on my experience, knowing how things work in Africa, trust me, it's a hard task to tell these guys to say give automatic citizenship to black diaspora when they don't even want to give dual citizenship and to their own people. And then the other thing, Carla, I don't know how informed you are. You try to talk about social security, this and that. The U.S. government allows dual citizenship. The problem is not from the U.S.
Exactly. It's like, this is the funny thing, where I've even heard some say, oh, the Africans, they did not fight for their independence. We, the blacks, helped them. You can look through Africa. There are many, many countries that actually fought against those who colonized them. Zimbabwe happened to be one of them. Like Robert Mugabe. Mugabe could have been running around talking about, I got PhD, I got this and that, like many of these fake so-called intellectuals. He actually fought the war. You can go to Guinea-Bissau, Angola, South Africa. There's many different countries in Africa. You think, Ghana, Gambia, all these countries, you were the one that freed those people. Those people freed themselves. They're like, look, we don't like somebody telling us what to do. You got to go. Some places, the people colonizing them did not want to leave peacefully. They're like, hey, we're telling you to leave. You don't want to leave? I mean, we just got to force you out. And that's what happened. So when you come with your fantasy, you meet people like Mushi or me, we would politely correct you. But with your ego, you cannot take it. And I don't know why you pretend as if you want to know about real history of the various countries. The moment they tell you the history and it doesn't fit what you want it to be, now all of a sudden the person is ignorant. This is crazy.
Side. So don't talk about social security.
Let me say this. Right, the problem I have with, if it wasn't for the Negropean pandemic globally, right, I would be all for dual citizenship. Right, there's too many Negropeans running around. Right, with dual.
Hold on. I want to answer this record. Misunderstood. Let me answer this. You wrote, this is interesting. You said to me, I heard, but you don't have to pay taxes in Gambia. All of the YouTube say that once you pay for land, it's yours outright, and there are yearly taxes. Are you saying that's not true? If you're buying it in the beginning, you have to pay all those taxes. But if you're saying yearly, yes, that's true. You have to pay taxes yearly, just like, most countries. That is true. You have to pay once a year, but it's not expensive.
Loyalties, and they're black when it's convenient for them and everything like that, and they act as agents of friggin', like, let me give you an example. A lot of Nigerians you see aren't even friggin' not Nigerians. No, they're black Englishmen, right, and black British.
So you see, Kalanizer, he has no problem exposing, the Nigerian British. And some of these people come there on these panels and bootleg for people like Kala. And you would even see one here at some point, before the show ends. Come in there buck dancing. So he is checking them. Let's hear him taking shots at people whose parents are actually Africans.
And they go to Nigeria, and when they hear them, you hear them talk and everything. And I told these FBA, you're not talking to real Nigerians. You're talking to Nigerian Negropeans that went to school and everything. There's a long history of Europeans indoctrinating Africans and Europeanizing them and stuff like this through Christianity, through religion, through marriage. Do you have no idea the royal families of Benin gave their daughters to Dutch traders to marry and stuff like that? There's a whole history of France. Forget about it. French.
So let me ask you. Are you ready to give up your U.S. citizenship if they?
Mochi is about to ask a good question. You notice how he veers off to another African history. Oh, the Benin, their royalty, they married, with the Dutch. So what does that have to do with this conversation? Or Africans? You're speaking of the royalty during those era. So now you're saying the government, the royal people, everybody is part of the royal family. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, I see why he wants to push that narrative. That would mean the fantasy that they are kings and queens would remain. I see exactly what he's doing. This man is delusional. But let's hear if Kala is willing to give up his American citizenship for Liberia, because remember he said he keeps saying that he is more Liberian than actual Liberians. He loves Liberian Africa, period. than people who were even born there. So let's see if he is willing to give up his American citizenship.
Give you automatic citizenship. Are you ready to give
He said
give up
no.
your
He
US
said no
citizenship?
No,
already.
look,
Colin said
I'm
no.
gonna look. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is my whole thing, right? The day we have the day now, Liberia, right? Right now, even though I consider that my homeland and everything, I do believe because of what happened in the 1980 coup and everything like that, even though I love and support Liberia, no.
Do you see how dangerous this man sounds? So, again, this is why we say don't talk about these tribal things. He's trying to make it sound like the coup, the coup that happened in Liberia is because of tribal thing. It has nothing to do with low standard of living and all that. He's trying to create confusion. There might have been some elements of people being mistreated based on a class system, but the way he's trying to include himself so that he can be seen as an elite over the actual Liberians. Again, it wasn't just Pookies and Rares that went to Liberia. The white people, picked the smart ones and put them in charge. That's just what it was. It wasn't just any dusty could just pack up and go there. That's not what it was. So I don't know why people are acting like that's, like a color. It wasn't colors that went there. That's why he was born here in America. His people did not go to Liberia. Now he wants to act brave. Oh, I want to go to Liberia when now Liberia has roads, it's modern. Now you are a pioneer, right? Is that what you're trying to tell us? If these people really think they are pioneers, in fact, they want their own country. I think they're gonna talk about that here in a minute.
You're right.
You think that's gonna happen again, Colin?
No, let him answer. Is he ready to give up his citizenship?
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me clarify myself, right? I love Liberia. I think Black people in America should settle there, build everything, right? But this tribalism thing with the indigenous people and everything, they won't let that go. They will not let that.
Did you hear this? A man born in America. He's a Black American. It's not like he has any affiliation to any tribe. He's not part of any of our tribes. Has absolutely nothing to do with us. Tribal rules don't apply to him. Like what tribe and what that have that saying, oh, because our tribe we have something against Black Americans or British Americans. They see you as a foreigner to them, which is the truth. So, but here you are, a country that had civil war, that reconciling. You're a complete stranger, but you want to make it seem like there's this tribal rift there. That is the reason why you don't want to go there. Boy, these people are the kings of moving the goalpost. The kings of moving the goalpost. 1 minute, you see, the moment when it's time to give up citizenship, it is because of the tribes. The tribes are the problem, the tribalism. Earlier, it's because the Africans didn't embrace, didn't welcome them the way they see it fit. So you can never win. You can never satisfy people like him and Juliet. You can never satisfy them. America is not good enough, but will never leave America or give up American citizenship. England is not good enough. You're not going to give up your citizenship, your benefits you're getting from England. You come to Africa, the Africans, are not welcoming you the way you see it fit. Okay. There's no satisfying you. Even if the Africans lay down and become slaves, you will still not be satisfied. Misery loves company. And most of these quote-unquote pan-Africans like him and Juliet are very miserable. You can hear it in the things they try to challenge.
Excuses. Excuses. I ask a simple
So
question.
you're
Yes
afraid
or
of
no?
the indigenous
Tyler,
people?
You talking? I ask you a simple question.
Tyler, you're afraid of us? You're afraid of us, Tyler?
Let me say this. Let me say this.
It's a simple question.
Let me finish. Let me finish my
It
statement. What I'm saying.
ain't
Let
that
me
serious,
say,
man.
right?
It's not that serious.
Hold on.
Yes or no?
Hold on. Let me say this. Now it's not. It's that's tribalism, right? It's also the fact that if you go to Liberia, right? You know, you are not going to hold no public office if you're African American. It's not going to happen, right? A Liberian man wants to
See, he's not that dumb or living in that much of a fantasy. Reality is about creeping in slowly. Let's hear his reasonings.
see a Liberian man, and I grip that, right?
That's not true.
George Ware is the president, right? And they love George Ware, you know, they're like that. You know, that's just what it is. I think that's all as far as I know. All the people that hold office and everything like that, you know, these are Liberian men. You gotta understand what the Liberian men do. You gotta understand what the Liberian men do. You know, you gotta walk like a Liberian man. You gotta speak like
So this guy, so you go to Liberians, you prefer Liberian men in charge. You know, you have to live by Liberian rules. What is wrong with that? Why do you have a problem with that? It is Liberia. But again, you know, that ethnocentrism, it's an American thing. Trust me, people try to make it black and white. There are some white people who think just like color. Like there are some, most Americans, you cannot, as far as they are concerned, like American law is superior to to all the countries in the world. So let me translate what Kala is saying. If you know, I mean, man, you guys are already established. You're not gonna let us, pull our scam and run things. So we're good. As if really, like, even if they say here, colonize this land, these people cannot do anything with it. They are not farmers. They don't have, they are not industrialized people. They won't even be able to feed themselves. You see? So this is why colors stay talking about ideologies. You see, the people that actually, like, take the bags, for example. I know most of you don't like the bags, but they are people who are about action. Look at what they are doing with their land. They are growing stuff on it. The people who have the ideas, okay, and want to act, they are already doing that. Kala has been talking for years. Somebody wrote here that this man wrote an entire book about Liberia before ever stepping foot in Liberia. Talk about crazy. Talk about crazy.
You gotta
Kala,
do
you're
that stuff like
hypocrites.
that.
Kala,
You can't.
Kala, you're
I
proven.
can have, hold on, bro.
Yeah, hypocrites. You're hypocrites. You're Christians. You're Christians, Nigerians who have citizenship, but you are not ready to give up your U.S. citizenship. You're a damn hypocrite.
Muchi, let him finish, Muchi.
No. I see you don't make sense. You don't want to give up your U.S.
Have a
citizenship.
cool one. Have a cool one.
You
Muchi.
don't
Have
want
a
to give
cool
up your
one.
U.S. citizenship, but you want Africans to give up
This is
a Christian citizenship.
Oh,
You're a hypocrite.
this is a problem. Moochie, hey,
You don't make me. You're a hypocrite.
Can you mute
I
him?
can't trust you.
Can
You're a
you mute this
hypocrite.
guy?
Thank you, Mushi. Saw it. Guys, what do I always talk about here? The hypocrisy. You cannot trust a hypocrite. On these panels, even diners are, oh, how Africans should give, Africans that came to America should give up their citizenship. They should go back. But you are crisscrossing, jumping any African country that is willing to pretend that they're giving you citizenship. You're right there. You're like right there. So that's why, Africans that listen to this, I wonder what is, and take it serious. I wonder, like, what is wrong with them. But yeah, Muchi is right. This quote unquote Pan Africans like him have no shame, showing how much of a hypocrite they are. That's what he does. He can't hide his nature. That's just who he is. He can't pretend for long. Just like Juliet. They are hypocrites. They don't want to live by the same, principles and rules. that they're asking you to hold. So they're hypocrites. Don't trust people like that.
All
Yeah,
they gotta do is
hypocrite.
disrupt. I want to say
No, you
something.
sure
Moochie,
that's not even hypocrite.
Yo, look,
Moochie,
I
let
want to
him
say something,
finish,
right?
please. Let him
I'm a
finish,
hold
please.
on. I'm a U.S. Yo, look, I'm not a Liberian born in America. I'm a U.S. citizen, right? My ancestors were born here 400 years. I'm a U.S. citizen, right? You know, I'm not gonna give my
You
citizenship or something like
FBA,
that.
you
You know,
FBA.
now hold on. I'm not FBI. I don't believe in that, right? But I will say, if I go to Liberia, right, I can help out as much as I can. You know, I can spend my money. I'm willing to bring my money, my time, you know, and anything I can to make sure.
He said he's gonna bring his money. He's been going there. He's complaining. And Abby said, he said Afridamus Scholar is basically saying he would only return to Africa if he can rule over the other Africans. Then he gets mad when people call him a colonizer. Exactly. That's the point. He is literally, that's what he is saying in many words. Like I said, when you challenge these fake Pan-Africanists that say they love Africa, just push back on them. They quickly become America. Like they become American citizen in no time. They start remembering how their ancestors contributed in America. You see, he's not gonna give up his American citizenship. So this is a con game. If Carla wants people to believe these things that he's saying, that he loves Liberia so much, look, I would even be amongst the people that would make video constantly and say, hey, Carla is willing to give up his American citizenship. Liberia, please take him in. Take him in. But he's not going to. He's just disappointed. He went to Liberia, or most of these people, come to Africa, and the hype wipe out quick. Because you're not going to just bring empty air talk to Africans. They get tired quick. Your story gets old real quick. You guys heard Kidola here yesterday. He's in Nigeria. He said you show up and you start talking about all these, how you are oppressed and all. Next time you show up, he's gonna, slam the door in your face. That's how many people are. They don't want to hear this. One minute you're an investor, you can bring money, but you're not bringing the money. Like, what is going on? Like, if you bring money, trust me, you'll be treated better than that Chinese and the white man that you're jealous of. Ask the other blacks who got money. They'll tell you.
I want to see Liberians rise. You know, that's what I want to see. You know,
So why are
I
you?
think what
because
Why are you
wait.
labeling Africans with dual citizenship as Negropeans?
Hold up.
Why are you labeling
You don't
Africans
have,
as
you don't have to be a
Negropeans?
Let someone else speak now, man.
You're
You don't
insulting
have to be a
Africans saying
citizen to help a
Negropean.
country. You know, what's
You're
the idea?
insulting Africans, Carla. You can't do that. You're not that smart. You can't label Africans Negropeans because they have dual citizenship. But by the same token, you don't want to give up your US citizenship.
Hold on. Look, I'm not acting as a freaking Negropean agent. You know, why would I want to become a citizen of Liberia when that? Whose interest is that serve? Not the Liberians.
Oh, you see how reality is kicking in? What happened to they have all these big ideas? They want to come save, African countries. How you are about to elevate the Africans, you're going to benefit. So this is the truth. Like Juliet talking about, automatic citizenship. I'm glad, reality finally found its way to him. Yes, you having that citizenship, how is the Gambians benefiting from that? How are they benefiting from it? So it's just a one-way street. So you can just sell lands freely. That's what it's about. You want to enter the business that you're already in, or like you want to fortify yourself, but that's not gonna save anybody. Even Gambians that do land scam, if they could prove it, and you could be prosecuted for that stuff. You see? So Carlos said it himself. You see, if you lie too much at some point, the truth, you would say it without even knowing. He's right. Him having the Liberian citizenship, how is that going to help Liberia? The man is not, it's not like he's bringing money. He doesn't have enough money. If the man was bringing in a lot of money, then one can say, you see, if Juliet had a lot of money, she's about to invest in boreholes, not from the donations and other stuff. She had the money. She didn't. She wouldn't even need to ask for this citizenship. All she has to do is let me know about it. I would even petition the government. I would say, are you crazy? This woman thinks she's black and Gambian. She's home. Oh, give her the citizenship. But you come in there, pulling a 419 on us, talking about you an investor. When the time comes, you're like, you guys are so evil. You want to ask me, to show you money, which I know nobody asked. Nobody asked for this. But you want to try to shame us, acting like, oh, the Africans are so evil for questioning an investor to show money. That's what investors do. They come with money. Simple.
Okay, so you're not against me having a U.S. citizenship, right?
But Kyler, you preach
US?
Liberianism on this platform so much. I thought you was really craving to be a Liberian.
No. I'm saying, look, I'm saying that I believe in the concept of Liberia. I believe African Americans should visit there, settle there, retire there, and stuff like that, and contribute. But a citizenship. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what a citizen is. Do you understand what a citizen is?
Here we go. You guys see the mentality. Caroline Harper. I'm just giving an example. I wish when I drop these links, in fact, I like the people that disagree with me mostly to call in, because some of them like to say, oh, Freedom's platform is biased. No, anyone can call in. Caroline said, Afridamus, why don't you speak on other races in Africa? Like who? Like who? What do you want me to say about other races? Show me another race right now that you call another race saying the same exact thing. Like Carla here, Juliet. If you can find that about Gambia or anywhere, and you can, just if you find the video, send it to me. I will speak on it. Because I don't like to fabricate things. Okay? I know some angry people like to do that. But if you find the video, by all means, send it to my inbox. I will talk about it.
I don't believe that you can have loyalty to two countries. I believe when
you love America, right? You love your American citizenship, right?
When the day comes when you take that citizenship of Liberia, right? Citizenship of Liberia, there should be no other country that you like that. You got to be ready for that. And like
so you guys see how this guy keep changing his position. So then Diners that he's talking to, why doesn't he tell Diners this? He said he's Nigerian, he's Sierra Leonean, he's trying to collect as many passports as possible, right? So like, which one is it? He changes when it's convenient, just like the group names change. 1 minute you are FBA, another minute you are ABA, another minute you are ADOS. So you don't know which character you're dealing with. It depends on which group is trending and popular. So this is the confusion that most Africans are dealing with. You don't know who you are meeting on when the conversation is taking place. You could be meeting the FBA spirit that day. Like, you guys remember when Tariq came up with the FBA and he started popularizing it like he did now. And that's Tariq's thing, right? He flip-flops, he have no shame. And look, you can say one thing about the man, but he's entertaining. He's an entertainer. That's what he does. You can't get mad at the things he says. Some people take it literally and get so upset. He's an entertainer. But now, other people that said they are not entertainers, we're goodwill ambassadors to Africa. So Tariq's FBA is based in ideology. But how can you be FBA and a Pan-Africanist at the same time? That means you're not from, like they have no tie to the African. Remember, Africans are dusty. That's one of the, preambles of the FBA. To be an FBA, you have to agree that Africans are dusty, cheetah. They smell like cheetah piss. You guys remember that? So I started seeing some of these people. Some of them even live in Africa. They started jumping on the ADOS FBA bandwagon when it started becoming popular. So there's no loyalty. The only loyalty is what will they think will make them money. That's all. That's all. Nothing else. So if you are sitting here thinking you're getting genuine people, you're fooling yourself.
That's
No,
why, and
I
that's
don't
why
think I
they
don't
they,
think
they
that
didn't
that
let they didn't allow
I'm
dual
pissed about
that
citizenship.
I'm
That's
a,
the
hold on.
reason
that's
I'm gonna
why.
not
land with this.
practical.
Had it not, hold on.
See,
Had it not been for
can
that
I?
coup, had Liberia been like it was supposed to be, millions of African Americans would be citizens of Liberia right now.
No, the dual national.
Oh, you mean if Liberia is what it's supposed to be, many African Americans would be Liberian citizens? That's actually not true. You have to remember the people who are at the top who came from America and they ruled Liberia for over 100 years. No, it was in their policy. Just because you're Black American, you can come there and be that. Once these people started exploring the resources and they started making money, they became the elite. No, they were not just letting anyone show up, just go. Like, they're not about to let your black ass just come in there. That's not how it was. I don't know why these people like Kala acts like, yeah, you just gotta be black. Ask Marcus Garvey, but we can't. He dead, right? He's dead. So Marcus Garvey sent his envoys, his people, to Liberia. They got deported. Read about that. So it was in that type of party. You're not just about to show up in the neighborhood in Liberia. That's not how it was. They were not trying to share that resource. They weren't trying to do that. They were trying to keep as much for themselves as possible. That's just human nature. Why would they give up their power to other people? Why would they do that? It's not in their best interest. But he's trying to lie to you to sell you this kumbaya black thing, which is not even real. He doesn't live by that principle.
The dual nationality
I don't know. I don't
laws
know,
was
Kyle. I don't know
passed.
about that
It was
one.
passed
Man,
during the
let's do,
American
I
Colonizer
do
let's
rule.
pass
believe that.
the,
I
let's
do
do this.
believe that.
Let's pass the key forward. Go ahead, key forward. Then I'll pass it to Jughead. Go ahead, key forward.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me, Diners. Well, I think we're talking about Liberia, but talking about dual citizenship in Africa as general, it's something that is possible. I think we just need to work. We need to each country. We need to work and put more pressure on the constitution because we all know most of this.
Hold on, guys. Pardon me. I made a mistake, not to, play, you know, Kifaru's music before, he started his job. Let's please welcome him.
Elites, they all have dual citizenships, maybe three or four countries. And it's something that is possible. I think if we're going to do dual citizenship in most African countries, it should be clear. Now, if we're going to do dual citizenship for our.
So, again, you have the Kifarus, like these people are from these countries where the blacks themselves are not going to. Because he should just invite them to Cameroon. Cameroon has its own laws. Cameroon has its own beefs. But you see, he's pretending that he's a Pan-Africanist, talking about, oh yeah, if all of Africa, we should, pass this law? How about you get, the English speaking side and the French speaking side in Cameroon to stop fighting about language? How about you do that? I'm sure there is a deeper, thing behind that. But how about you get that going? But Kifaru wants to belong to the Pan-African group. He just wants to belong somewhere. So he's giving us his expert, tap dancing talking points.
For descendants or for people that were taken out of Africa due to slave trade, that should be a separate kind of a law, because that is we need to put them on a different group.
Why do people try to make it sound so different? Okay, it's a slave trade. Oh, the people who were taken. You mean the people who were sold? I mean, why are people trying to lie about these things, trying to make it sound like, let's just call it what it is. It was a slave trade. Okay? Slave trade. But I guess you don't want them to call you a dirty foot tether, so you have to come and pretend. But your terrorism is not even, up to par according to the, the blacks, because you're not even in America. You cannot be a tether if you're not in America, according to, the black book. I looked up the meaning of tether, but it looks like the blacks that say it fit that criteria more than the Africans. Now I see why they're trying to get us to join the tether club also. Please leave the Africans out of the tethering. But let's allow, Kifaru to tell us what he thinks should happen in the country of Africa. Because these people speak as if it's not a continent, it's a country.
Okay, we say these people, because of these circumstances that happened to them, we're giving them this privilege. We can work with that first. I think if we want to put just everyone in that country as, okay, we're going to have dual citizenship, it's going to be a little bit complicated, because most people, like most African leaders, what they think that if an African commits crime in his country, he can run and go to his second country. And
but is that too far-fetched? You know what? I'll just let him, finish, his dancing. Maybe he'll change his tune. Who knows?
You can't really persecute him. That's the main reason why these people they don't want to give dual nationality for their citizenship. But as I said, like people who leave Africa, we should put them on a separate set and treat them as such. I think that is going to be more easy, and the process is going to be like easier for them to work. We can't put all of them in the same again. I think I've been listening to Kala. I think what we're judging.
Maybe Juliet should go to Cameroon, because you see, this man speaks as if Africa is a country, not a continent. So, but I think it sounds like Kifaru over here, welcomes it. But how about we send Kifaru on a, put an envoy together, let him go, explain this to Paul Biya, the president of that country, the king of Cameroon. But I wonder why people whose countries that the blacks are not interested in going to, those are the people that advocate for this. Somebody like Tunaya, he's always advocating, for these things for other people's countries. And, I wish people would just take him up on his offer, say, please, Tunaya, take us to Nigeria with you. But again, they're not talking about this. Ghana, Ghana pulled the fast one. They did the year of return, made some money, and, gave some, free land somewhere that maybe people wouldn't move there for the next 100 years. But now they put it to good use. Some made money off of it. So it's a win-win situation. I heard Ghana made like $1 billion plus from that, year of return. Ghana have no shame in their game, when they're out here, twerking in front of the blacks, talking about, oh yeah, we're giving free flight. We're giving direct flight from Ghana to Jamaica. And people, again, because I understand when we talk of these things, many people from the West especially like to use the action of the government as that of the people, like the people are in agreement with this. In fact, I've heard many Ghanaians who disapprove of the year of return, because technically, how did it benefit them? You see what I'm saying? So the opinions that is being expressed here, that is not the opinion of the general Ghanaian, the regular Ghanaian, because many are against that too. You've heard the Ghanaians opposing the automatic citizenship as well. It's all over West Africa. I mean, except Sierra Leone.
Colonial Africa with this present day Africa. I know you say things like, "Oh, Africans have been trading, selling, getting married to these European people." Well, those are circumstances. I think if we're coming to Africa, we should know we're coming to meet a new breed of Africans. These Africans are informed. They know more about the world. They know more about what is happening. Those ancient Africans, these people were close. They knew nothing about the extra world. All they knew.
Wait. Kifaru just went off script. He just went off his tap dancing script. He wasn't supposed to say those things. He wasn't supposed to point out that the African is different. He's supposed to say the African, you can just come and pull a fast one. The African is not smart. You see? So let's see. He's off script here. He was on the tap dancing one. I think he's trying to reel, color in, and then he went off script. Let's see how this goes.
About Europe were from explorers. So all what they told them, this will happen. But this present day Africans are different group of people. So when we're coming and talking about this ancient history, it's something that passed, but we need to deal with the future now. The present.
Wait. Okay. Kifaru, I take back your tap dancing music. You are not, so Kifaru, what he's saying to Kala here, I think Kala can see that as well. You see? But for him to pull off this fake or fantasy that he's selling, what Kifaru is saying doesn't help. That doesn't fit what he wants to hear. So Kifaru is just punching him at this point.
Our problems in Africa now is the present, where we can have some reference from past history, but all that we have, that
Let me ask you a question.
Problem. It's this present. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I agree with you 100%, but don't you think that the people in Africa should come first? And let me ask everybody on the panel this question.
He's creating his own argument. He's hesitant. Don't you think the Africans should come forward? Like he himself said, him getting citizenship in Liberia is not going to benefit them. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. So you want the African to come to you. Who are they going to come to? Who are your leaders? Which nation? You're part of America. So stop acting like you have your own separate thing going on. That's not the truth. Not all black people, subscribe to this madness. So trying to paint it like all black people in America united on this dumb ideology is false. It's not real at all. And Africans that are buying into this do not buy into this. Most blacks, this is not how they think. They love the white man's food. They love McDonald's. They love all these things. They love 4th of July, Thanksgiving. They love Christmas. In fact, if you tell them about Africa, they would say, man, there's no plumbing. The people there don't have water. That's their idea. That's their perception. So Kala wants to sell to some who buy into this and say, oh, you know what, you can go there and save the people. But now it's not only Africans who are waking up. The good thing, there are many blacks also who are waking up to find out, a lot of these things are false. So I don't want people to have the idea that it is every black person, that's going there is thinking this way. Because I heard one person was like, oh, Afridamus, you generalize. So for you to even think this applies to every single person, that tells me that you are a dishonest person, or maybe you're hiding something that I'm pointing out here. Because what else could it be? Oh, you generalizing it. Well, if it's not you, why are you worried? You shouldn't be worried.
Right? If you basically, as a African American, black from America, right? And no offense to anybody that have dual citizenship and everything like that, right? To me, right, the African, that citizenship, right, his vote is all he got. That's all he got. He has nothing else. No voice, no nothing else.
Okay.
So your vote is not a voice. That's how citizens speak, through their vote. So he's not really making sense. Again, this is why the conversation, cannot get anywhere, because he's in la la land. He comes up with, reasonings that are mediocre at best. He's not making any sense. Okay, what type of power, what else do you want the person to have other than voting? Voting is a big deal. It's a big deal. If you cannot, non-citizens cannot vote in America, although I hear that some do, but legally they cannot. Oh, what else? What power does he have in America besides voting? That is, if he could.
Genesis.
You
I'm
can get
gonna
on a
give
plane and go. Why
I'm
would
gonna give you an
why would we
example.
diminish that to them?
Okay, see, I'm giving an example. Most African cities, most African countries, especially like my country, Cameroon, don't accept dual citizenship. But Cameroonians that have got different citizenship, they still come to the country and operate like Cameroonians because what
He's not making sense. So, okay, your country do not accept dual citizenship. So why are you over here talking then?
they do, they still have their ID card. The dual citizenship is just stopping them from not having the Cameroon passport. Why they're in the country, no one cares your nationality. They are still Cameroonians.
Right.
Someone cannot be born and bred in this country and you say, oh no, you're no more part of this country. That does not make sense. No one cares. The thing is just like
We're talking about
passport,
African
but like
slave descendants. That's the whole thing. We have to distinguish between Africans. Right now, the AU only talks about the African diaspora, as in people are kind of our people going. She's talking about the people who live overseas.
It's funny when they talk about this AU thing. You think AU can make a country give citizenship to you? This is laughable. So basically what he's asking again, he's flip-flopping. Look, Kala went to Liberia as a colonizer. His ego wouldn't let him tell us the truth about the laws. Like, he sees no way probably of getting any citizenship in Liberia. So his ego he's pretending, no, I don't want this citizenship. But next minute you want them to create special law for, you said it. And there's no shame. They would tell you straight, we want to be treated above everybody. Oh, you treating the Chinese better than us. How? Oh, the Chinese brought money to invest. They employed some people and their employees are happy. So those people are coons, according to you. When many of you, your boss is not a black person. The company that employs you in America is not a black company. We all know this. So it is hypocritical for you to try to, sell a narrative that's not real. Africans, wake up, look around you, look at what you're seeing. Your eyes are not fooling you. Okay? Most of the blacks that have money already, they're not coming to Africa. Most blacks don't travel like that. They don't leave the neighborhood like that. They invest their money in America. America is the place they know. They will go vacation in other places, but here's the place they know. The very, very wealthy, would probably invest mostly, they are with the Europeans. Okay? The Europeans. Have you ever heard Michael Jordan talk about Africa? Have you ever heard him talk about Africa? No, because he doesn't need to scam anyone. Have you ever heard LeBron James talk about Africa? Never. So at the end of the day, it's about money. Okay? It's about money. Something they're going to have leverage in Africa, and hey, you will. Your American passport would give you that leverage, but make sure you also bring some Benjamins. Okay? It doesn't hurt. But that Benjamin that you don't want to talk about, that's your roadblock right there. That Benjamin is your master key. Yeah, the passport would get you there, but the Benjamin would get your foot in the door. But now you don't want to talk about that. And there it is.
Seas, Negropeans, that live overseas, She's not
I
talking
don't
about
know
But
if
you're
I don't
you're
know
a
if they don't
Negropean too,
include.
Kala, by that definition.
I don't
You're
know
a
if they don't
Negropean.
include
I'm not
like.
a Negropean. Let me
I
say
don't
But
this.
know
you
if.
live overseas.
Wait,
No,
I'm
I'm
not
a,
sure.
I'm a
Let me.
slave. I'm a
Why can't
slave.
you make a point
I'm
without
an African
insulting people?
slave
Kala, you're
descendant.
too
I'm a
old for
slave
that.
descendant.
Yeah,
No,
Kala,
I
you're
was
too
Wait,
no,
old
please,
for
I'm a,
that.
can I
I'm a
just
slave
Kala,
ask?
descendant.
See,
Kala,
can I just
Hold
say
on,
this? Can I just say this?
one mic.
Dale,
Kifar, finish.
Dale,
Go ahead and finish your
Can I
Kala
point.
is too
just finish?
old.
Then I'll let you guys to
Kala is too
argue
old
amongst
to be
yourself. Can I
insulting
just
people.
finish?
Look, Kifaru's country doesn't do well, so we're removing his mic. Let's allow our British Nigerian to come in.
These countries like the citizens.
No, Amuchi, why you?
You're relative to other African countries, Nigeria. You could go back to Nigeria right now. I'm sure you got a good job in the UK. You could.
Kala,
Can I just
Hold
say
on,
this? Can I just say this?
one mic. Kifar, finish.
Dale,
Go ahead and finish your
Can I
Kala
point.
is too
just finish?
old.
Then I'll let you guys to
Kala is too
argue
old
amongst
to be
yourself. Can I
insulting
just finish,
people.
please?
Kala can
Say,
make a point without insulting people.
Kala Genesis says
No,
something
no,
that.
wait. Kala should give this.
No, leave Kala. Leave Kala. He can say, okay.
Make
Kala said something that I'm not sure where he got information. I'm not sure if the African Union, the sixth, was that the sixth region of the African Union includes only Africans. That's
The six regions of the joke.
continental Africans that are living in the West. But I think it includes also
They talk white
Africans from
people.
churches.
See, you see what he's doing? This makes me laugh. A lot of these Africans that claim to be Pan-Africans, they go to these panels and they would blatantly lie. Yes, the sixth region that the AU consider, they're talking about Africans that were from Africa, born and raised like myself, that live outside of Africa. Those are the ones they're talking about. But you see, he's trying to act like he doesn't understand that point, to try to, muddy it. So it's no problem. They let them lie to each other, But again, even with that, what does that even mean? You see, what does it even mean?
Everybody.
Yeah. So what is your point?
No,
because you were saying it does not. They don't include the African Americans part of that.
I'm trying to
it does not talk about.
It's too many mics. I'm trying to go far. Go ahead, Kafar.
Yeah, I was trying to ask Kala. You made the statement that the sixth region does not include African Americans or the diaspora.
I'm trying to answer you. I keep getting cut up. Yeah,
No.
Everybody, right?
Can I answer? The sixth region includes African Americans. It includes African Americans. Sixth region does. Go ahead, Kafar.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So this doesn't make sense. What power does AU Africa have over non-Africans? Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Like, why are these people sitting here lying? What power does an African organization have over an American of any color? Let's, like, what power do they have? What can they do for them? That would mean you would have to, even Haiti, they didn't allow Haiti to join the, African Union. You're not blacker than Haiti. It's an entire country. So you are telling me, you as an American citizen, just simply being black, the AU is claiming you. Okay, they can do all that, but what can they really do for you? I don't understand that. Your passport is good enough, man. It's like literally having food and still starving, crying about starvation. The food is right in front of you. You could eat it, but you're crying about starving.
I think I just make my point that the dual citizenship, we should keep this sixth region, this African Americans, or these Africans that left Africa due to chattel slavery. We should treat them differently, because they don't have, they can't navigate these countries like the citizenship, like the citizens in the country. If you're coming new to Liberia, you don't know how to navigate yourself, how to play.
Look, those of you that want to go to Africa, stop listening to quote unquote Pan-African Africans like him. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He wants to tell you about Liberia. He's not Liberian. He knows nothing about Liberia. He's trying to sell you the fantasy that because he's from an African country, now through osmosis, that makes him know these things. Not true. If you buy into what he's saying, you would be sadly mistaken.
Around, so they should give them this privilege. And now a Liberian can come to America.
Oh, did you hear this? He wants them to be, the blacks to be given privilege over the actual Liberians. So, isn't that what colonization was? The whites had more privilege than the locals. Why do these people say these things? Are they even thinking? Like, you acting like you're going to a place where it's an empty land. Like people don't exist there. Oh, the people that are there, you're more important than those people. Now you guys understand why, I have to make streams about things like this. Some of you might say, oh, it's just YouTube. Well, that's where it starts. And it is not just empty emojis talking. These are human beings behind these emojis that think like this. So we gotta call them out.
Have an American citizenship and he's not accepted dual nationality, he can still go in his country and do anything that he wants. Maybe he might not vote, but he can still do everything. He can still own his land. He can do everything. It's just the citizenship. So that's just my point.
The African Union 6th region was founded online. But I know the people who found it. It was a joke, by some people in the DC and everything. And
I like when Kala, meet truth moments. Look, Kala is crazy, but he is not that crazy. I like how he sat there and listened to it, and he's right. This 6th region talk is a joke. Some people made it up online. But here we have Mr. Kifaru, our Pan-African intellectual, making up stuff. Kala, check him.
African Union say, "Oh yeah, it's nothing official." African Union is barely an organization that has no military.
All right, Kyle, let's pass it to Jug. Go ahead, Jughead.
Hey, Dinas is really good at this because you see, so Kala is about to, talk about how the African Union is a toothless lion. So, but Dinas is like, no, you know what? Let's not drag the African Union. I'm already trying to sell this fantasy, so he had to cut him off. So let him bring another, real tap dancer.
Go ahead, Jughead.
Let's back it down. Thank you for allowing me back into the chat room. After Juliet,
Wait. He's got a British accent. Let's give him his real music.
They could get citizenship.
So,
That's my
okay,
take.
so here's
All right.
spoke.
Let's let him do his thing.
Greetings, Elvis Morris. Greetings, Kala Genesis Grand. Greetings, Bulla, Vagabond. Greetings, Muchati. Greetings, Jamal Omar. Greetings, Kafaru. Greetings, Al. Yeah, I'll keep it.
So this guy, I'm sure he's heard what Carla said. So literally sounded like he was taking shot like someone like him straight. Like if you are not seeing this, you listening, you would think it's like some white British man talking, right? So Carla is calling people like him fake. So let's see if he addresses this or he's gonna tap dance.
Short and concise. Regarding the term white Zimbabwean, no such thing as white Zimbabwean. If you're a non-black person in Africa, you're an invader. Those whites in Zimbabwe, Kenya, Tanzania, they're not Africans. They're an invader. If I break into your house, say 100 years.
Yeah, says a man, says a black Nigerian in the UK who sounds like he works for the Queen. Sounds nothing like Nigerian. He had the nerve to call somebody else in a completely different country an invader. Nothing makes me laugh than when I see this, Africans who have become truly Europeanized. They, it's only their skin, but they're truly just European. And they fantasize about being African. They are mad at those white people talking about they are colonizers. Didn't this man hear anything that Carla said? But he wants to be mad about Zimbabwe. Okay, that makes sense. Let's let Jeffrey here tell us what he thinks.
But you're part of your family. No, I'm an intruder. What happened last year, 100 years ago. So there's nothing white Zimbabweans. Please don't use that term. That's offensive to me. I know that term. There's nothing white Zimbabweans, white Africans. They're invaders. And why didn't Juliet said she's...
What is it with like these British people? They like to tell people what they are offended by. Really, honestly, like, so you're in the UK from your own, if we go by his own principle, he's an invader there. You live in England, you talk like an Englishman, you dress like an Englishman, and you are offended by white people who were born and raised in a country where they are called, British called Zimbabwe, they are Zimbabwean. I bet you if some white person calls him a Nigerian, he would be offended by that. Because you say, I am an Englishman. Because they like to put, it's just like some of the fake blacks. They hate Africa. But when a white person is around, that's when they become African all of a sudden. So the same way, he's Englishman. But when he comes to these panels, he is African. And he's offended by what goes on in Africa.
Correct. I mean, Africa was taken from Africa without complicity against their will. We owe them land. We owe them. We owe them a debt. We owe you a debt, Dinus and Kalanizers. That's a fact. We owe you.
No, I will translate. Mimi say, what is he talking about? I can barely understand him. I'll translate. I think he's saying that, literally saying, he owes them reparation. I think he's speaking for Nigeria. Nigerians are not going to take too kindly to this. You have a British man, English man, doing his white liberal things. Oh boy, they taught him really well. If you owe them, sir, please, you should be, live by example. Send them some of your check. I don't understand why some of these people want to spend other people's money. They when it comes to other people's money, they have all these great ideas and they know who owes who. Well, he said it himself out of his own mouth. He said he owes them. you know, maybe he's talking about Nigeria. Speak for England, sir, please. He must be speaking about England. I mean, this is a setup. You know, white people now, they are showing up in blackface as black people to try to shift this blame onto African countries, pretending to be Africans, talking about we owe you, when they're the ones that enslaved the blacks. This is ridiculous.
On disputes. Now, I understand with our present leadership, that's what happened because our present leadership are corrupt and cowardly. So that's going to be a problem. But in principle, we owe you land and citizenship. That's the least we can do. I'll say that. Let me calm down a bit. I'll say that for now.
Who owes who?
Africa owes the diasporas in the Caribbean, Brazil, the Central America, and America for our part in the slave trade.
Yeah, you know, not every African, not every African group or every African country took part in the slave trade, right?
Doesn't matter.
So even though it's not all of Africa part of this, he is claiming, he said it doesn't matter, you just owe. So the guy is irrational, he's just ignorant. So you should just pay someone, even if you know it doesn't matter. And he's telling the people that he needs to remain calm. He was already calm. If he gets any calmer than that, we would have to you know, give him CPR. What does it mean? You know, let me be calm. Sir, you were calm the whole time. I'm confused here.
Doesn't matter. What they'll take against their will from their motherland, fatherland. They never come back.
Yeah, okay, no, I get you. Let's make it easy. The countries that were involved in slave trade hold reparation to those people. That's where they were shipped out of the continent. I think that's
I can only speak for my country, which I know best. And
Go
Liberia already has Liberia is funded by African Americans, so to speak. And like that's the question I was asking, and Kala answered that question just right. You know, a lot of African Americans don't want to give up their American citizenship. A lot of Liberians in America don't want to give up their American citizenship because with that comes security, comes economic opportunities, comes the infrastructure, the systems that we all value and love and respect. So a lot of people.
I have to give it to the Liberian man, Elvish. He just called it like it is. You know? So I don't know if these people are liking that. Yeah, like all that, the American passport, your British passport, there's security in that. Meaning you can exploit those opportunities. And these people want to sit on these panels and pretend like they don't know what it is. It's the same reason why he will not say, even on this panel, because he likes to be delusional, but he will not even allow it to be even as a joke to say, yeah, I'll give up my citizenship. He doesn't want anyone to even hold on to this. That's what tells you he's not a serious guy. But this guy is speaking facts. Let's hear, you know, it looks like Jeffrey here from England is trying to say something.
People don't really want to repatriate back to Africa.
You know why? Because the current African misleadership, industrialized Africa's not industrialized. That's the problem. If those clowns in charge have done their job.
So we have a British man calling people in Africa clowns. So he's so educated, right? He's so smart. And he considers himself an African. Let him go show the people the smarts. He's from an industrialized country. What has he learned there? So this is the clown show we see online. St. James said, Afridamus, you must pay by the size of your land in the Gambia. Exactly. That would mean nothing. We wouldn't give anything up.
Then we've flood back in the millions. Because they're not industrialized.
Right. Okay, you're from a pretty well developed African country relative.
Oh, he's telling him, let's go.
To other African countries, Nigeria. You could go back to Nigeria right now. I'm sure you got a good job in the UK. You can do that same job in Nigeria, make a comparable salary, and live in Nigeria and be happy. Have you considered that?
Well, Elvis could do the same thing in Liberia.
Elvis.
Ooh, you see, I like what Elvis said. He's over here saying it is ignorant leaders, calling them all kinds of names. But now, Elvis just told him, hey, Nigeria is advanced enough for you to, if you want to move there, you can move and make comparable salary. But you see, these people don't want to go to Africa. They just want to hurl insults at Africa. That's what it is. Nothing else. Mike said the jughead guy wouldn't even give up his UK citizenship. Exactly. But let's hear, what kind of moonwalking he's going to do here. Guys, I want us to call out these people's hypocrisy. Okay? The same reason you're not giving up that American citizenship is the same reason why I got it. Okay? Plain and simple.
But no. I think let's be realistic here. Guys,
Okay. Go ahead, Bala.
Yeah, I thought the essence of dual citizenship is you still maintain the citizenship in both countries, so you don't have to give up one. Isn't that what it is? If you have a dual citizenship, I mean, unless I'm okay. So why do we keep asking each other people about, do you want to give up a certain citizenship? I thought you still get to maintain the citizenship.
No. Here's the thing.
This guy, there's always one tap dancer. Plenty of them. So this guy's been sitting there the whole time. He didn't catch the hypocrisy. There's never a pushback. So this is why, are you surprised why these people come and say, oh, the Africans are dumb? Because you are going along with dumb talking points. You see, Kala doesn't like what Muchi said. Even Kifaru, even though he tap danced, but he still didn't like everything he said.
Here's the thing, okay? The US allows dual citizenship, okay? But there are other countries, for example, India, China.
Yeah, I know that.
Wait, you ask the question. I'm trying to explain to you why. Because those other countries do not allow dual citizenship. So you cannot have dual citizenship if legally you should not have dual citizenship. You would have to give up your citizenship of your birth country.
Okay. So as it by the way, Muchi, where are you from? What part of Africa are you from? Muchi,
Zimbabwe.
Okay, perfect.
Muchi said this over and over. So obviously this guy wasn't paying attention.
Perfect. All right. So in the case of Liberia, we're talking about dual citizenship. So, but several times I heard Kala being asked if he was willing to relinquish his American citizenship as it relates to Liberia.
No, so Kala doesn't believe in dual citizenship. I don't know.
This guy is not making sense. The reason why they asked Kala if he's going to give up his American citizenship, because he made the statement that he doesn't believe in dual citizenship, but at the same time try to argue for it. So therefore, to point out his hypocrisy, that's why he was asked that question. Some of these people, it's a waste of space to be on these panels because they can't even, follow, what the topic is or what is being said. It's like they're in la la land. But since he wants to tap dance, he's more focused, thinking he's coming to defend Kala. When Kala doesn't need him to defend him. Kala can be stupid on his own. He doesn't need anyone's help with that. He does great on his own.
Know why?
He doesn't believe in dual citizenship. That's why we're asking you.
Let me just say this quick. Let me just say this quick. Can I just say this quick?
Let me clarify something. I believe in dual citizenship for Liberians that were born in America, right, and that it lost through the war and stuff like that. As far as African Americans, right, I believe Liberians with their permanent residency and stuff like that, Black people are very served being a satellite to Liberia in America, right? That means the tremendous pipeline that we have in America through our institutions and everything like that can serve Liberia. It always has been. All the Liberian.
But Kala, you can be a Liberian citizen if you're American citizen.
So he's babbling again. 1 minute he wants it, another minute he doesn't. So now he's about to try to pretend like, yeah, we can help Liberia, but who is that we? So you're gonna talk about institutions like We see this education that you talk about, that you receive, didn't get you anywhere. Why would you try to get Africans to get that? But he's speaking as if somebody from Liberia cannot just come here and go to any school. They are already doing it. They've been doing it. They don't need you for that. But here we go.
Would you let me finish? Let me finish, right? The whole idea strategically, if you guys don't freaking understand something, right? Liberia will be strategic for Black America in Africa. In other words, basically, all our institutions, like right now, we got HBCUs building in Liberia and stuff like that.
Here we go with the HBCUs built by white people, but again, they like to throw that in. So he said Liberia would be a strategic point for Black Americans. Like, what do you mean, Black Americans? So the Liberian people don't exist. You know, I'm not buying too much into this or buying at all. That's why I like Dynas is even laughing at it. He's having fun just as much as I'm having fun. So those of you that get upset, look, I know it doesn't matter what I say. You will be upset at anything. Lighten up and have fun. You know, loosen up. And, you know, people like Kala here, you know, use your brain and think about what he's saying. He flip-flops so much, it is laughable. And it makes this quote-unquote Pan-Africanism a joke. And you guys are mad when people laugh at it. This is why. This is the reason. It's not making sense.
Use what we have in Liberia. And basically, like, when are we going to open the first African-American bank in Liberia, in Monrovia, right? See what I'm talking about? We can take our institutions. We don't need a bunch of deadbeats sitting over there with citizenship. Come on, I got Liberian citizenship. We need the Black people that's going to invest.
We can. Well, if these things you're talking about, like, I mean, don't you think you should already have practiced that in America? And then people can copy it. But you see, he's yelling, shouting because he really don't have anything to offer the Liberians or Africans in general. HBCU, how many Africans are getting visas to come to the HBCUs? Africans from different countries can come to America, and they don't need you for this. People already know this. People can have student visas, different kinds of visas. They don't need you for this. I don't know if you get it. Maybe if you marry some Liberian girl, you can help her get a green card, but that's about it.
Yes, to bring the infrastructure and build Liberian infrastructure. That's what I'm talking about.
Getting a country citizenship is a big commitment, Kala. Are you willing to make that commitment?
Okay, hold on. What, Mike? Bala, are you done, Bala? I don't want to cut off your time, Bala.
I didn't. I didn't want to interfere with my brothers.
No. Go ahead, Bala. Take your time, Bala. You've been patiently waiting. Go ahead, Bala. Take your time. Take your time. Go ahead.
I mean, just being in y'all midst, brother, makes me happy alone. So, but Kala, okay, so I didn't know that Kala had issues with the dual citizenship. That's where. So now I do understand why Elvis kept asking him, "Are you willing to give up your citizenship?" Because I was a little confused why Elvis was asking him. But
let me say this, Bala.
Yeah. No, let Bala finish his statement. Go ahead, Bala.
But if Dynas would allow me to actually say this,
take your time. Take your time, please. Don't nobody interrupt him. Go ahead, Bala.
I would really love to, as many as of my African or diaspora, but I have to be honest, I'm biased, towards the African Americans. So as many of my African American brothers and sisters as can come to Liberia, I would say come and see what's going on. You will be thrown off guard by the very low infrastructure and all that stuff, but just understand one thing, that we used to be there before, and because of our civil conflict, we are where we are. But Liberia is an open field right now. It's probably the one country in Africa, maybe the entire world, where you can go over there and start something entrepreneurially, and in no time you start to see great returns. Liberia is a place of promise. So I'd encourage all of my African American brothers and sisters to come to Liberia, come visit or check it out. Do more research about Liberia.
Hey, Carla said the Africans are not open, right? This man is even saying he is biased. He's willing to put the blacks on a pedestal. There's investments, great investment. He's saying a lot of good things here, right? So totally debunking what Carla is saying. Let's see how Carla will respond. So this means there's a welcome in place. He's already interested in Liberia. So Carla shouldn't have any excuse, right? Because the investments are ripe and there's returns, as the Liberian man is saying. But let's go.
And to potentially spark your interest a little more, if Diners would allow me to say this on his platform, there's a small YouTube channel, just like it says Bala the Vagabond. There is a spot in Liberia that's on that channel. It's called D Calabash. Check out that spot. It was built by a Liberian.
I went there.
It's state of the art. Check out that YouTube channel.
So Carla went there, but he never mentioned these things about Liberia. For some reason, he has other things to say.
40 years outside of Africa and they don't do anything. You know, I do think, right, there's nothing stopping a Liberian or African American from going to right now with this passport thing, this law that should be passed soon, right? With Liberia, it's not dual citizen passport law. You as African American travel to Liberia as much as you want without having to get a visa, you know, without getting a visa and everything. That's basically the fact that you could basically use your U.S. passport to do a lot of things in Liberia and everything. I still say, right, if you want trouble, don't create this separate class of people that can go and come when you want to and everything, while the masses are stuck there in the stuff. And I'm telling you right now, you are asking for conflict.
We'll stop it there. He's not making any sense. He obviously doesn't understand the dynamics in Africa. You know, when you try to use fear to operate, that's not gonna work. By all means, for those of you that subscribe to the Pan-Africanism thing, don't think that I have issues with what you believe in. You know, especially if you're someone who doesn't subscribe to this fantasy that you just heard. But if you are someone who believes in what these people are spewing, then you know this show does apply to you as well. You know, I've been speaking on this and I'll continue to speak on it. We have to get real. You know, Africa, as people like to put it, African country, you know, the countries are established already. They're already established. If you are not trying to come to be a part of the system, you would have a really hard time. We no longer live in the era where you show up and you become king, like how people go and explore and take new lands. That's not what it is. And that totally contradicts that, you know, that Pan-Africanism that you preach to say, brothers and sisters, what you want, that's actually, you know, it's like you're lying to people, right? To Africans, while trying to give yourself the advantage. That's not brotherhood. That's not sisterhood. You want to see yourself as on top and the other people below you. That's not how brothers and sisters are. That's not how it's supposed to be. You know, just go to these places, learn, you know, be a part of, do what you're there to do. Don't try to force people to see things the way you see it. Have ideas. If you have investment ideas, you can go with it. But if you're someone who's never done business, you can't even navigate the environment you're coming from fully by yourself, trust me, you would have a hard time. You know, not only Africa, wherever you go, you cannot call yourself an investor if you don't have money, knowledge. You will have to be investing in things. And also this fantasy thinking that people, you know, in Africa are sitting there waiting for you to come to throw flowers and start drumming. That's not how happening. That's not true. Nobody even knows you're coming. But I truly mean it. If some people really want to feel good about that, I'm willing to pretend that this is real and we can put the drum ensemble together. But you would have to pay a fee for us to make this fantasy happen, because you're not about to embarrass me in front of my people like that, you see? So the whole point is, stop trying to, lord over Africans or anybody. Just be a human being. Like your beef or your jealousy against white people, trust me, you will see white people, like pretty much wherever you go in the world. So if you have problems with that, I mean, you might want to find some, remote area. I don't know what to tell you. But and I'm going to repeat this, if you tell me openly like you hate another human being, it doesn't matter what their color is, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I mean, like, you are able to hate another human, that means you hate all. Because the moment you disagree with somebody, you would hate them. If you always give yourself the high ground on who gets to decide and make things subjective, it's not going to work. And I stick by it, is colonialism. People, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you share. And look, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to write, to write to me. If you see these topics, let me know. And I hope I was able to point out the different faces of Juliet and how ridiculous, she is. As far as the automatic citizenship goes. If you disagree, let me know that as well. But thank you. Until next time, I will see you.
Entre más lejos, más feliz. Era un veneno y lo bebí. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Siempre sé la peli es actriz, pero ya vamos llegando al fin. Yeah, yeah. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Yeah, yeah. Cogiste la rosa y escupiste pina. Nunca será nada.